Namo Guru Be Namo Bidaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sangaya Namo Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sangaya Namo Guru Namo Namo Dharma Namo Sangaya Kande Laje Gwenje Toga Rāgā shōsā bōngdē chōzē chōjē gyābō guñjē lōsā sēdāng jēbā nēdē shēsō dēnjē nāngā sēndē jēzē lāmā jēbē zōngā dālō dēbē sēnā shēnjō Tenpa jeje geja shuso, sheje chungwen jawe lodu, geza nawe genjol, tabe beje lamen zebe, tonde dembe den, yewo cheye nazo mendo, jeje do. Nang sen de zha, wen sha yi zhi, qu jin ya zuo, de sun na xin zhuo che, che ba, ka xie tong men de ne sa ba, lun a yi su mi ge ji ji, che bu lang dong ba sum ji men, ning ne ju ban zha bu so so. Ning men de de mang de zhu la, shi ye bang ben den zhu de, wang bo jie ye lab zhen ze ba, da zha san bang ta be yi rang, xie zi la man da ba ye na, chu gu ha la qian jie jin che, Che da sam hen de je se ma, sab je che je cha wa abdo, nam da we se yin le xian ba, song zhu guo la cha do mi, ta me nang wo su gu ra da, si de ba do me no den ba, da zo ji ni sa be, den dang zhou wa guen la kang ben, xie bu la ji zi lo san, den be ning bo ren do se ji, ming me zai we de jian jian re se, chi me qian be wang bo jian, tu bo ma lu zhong zi sang we, ka jin ke be zu jian zong, lo san ta be xia la so wan de, ming me zai we de jian jian, chi me qian be wang bo jiang be yang, tu bo ma lu zhong, ka jin ke be zu jian zong ga, lo san ta be xia la so wan de, ming me zai we de jian jian, Chime Chimbe Wangbo Jambe Yang Kibo Mali Kanjin Kebe Zojen Zonga Losan Tabe Shabla Sowan De Pande Zabe Lama Rimbo Taso Chivuro Benden Densho La Gadi Kuson Toji Mudu Zendo So Pande Zabe Lama Rimbo Taso Ningara Benden Densho La Gadi Chimbu Kone Chodan Timo Wudu Zendo So Pande Zabe Lama Rimbo Taso Ningara Benden Densho La Gadi Chimbu Chanjo Ningbe Tenpa Ju Masan Jume Sheram Paru Manje Manga Namge Ngobo Sozo Rangye Ishe Chuyu Tuzon Ye Chanze Lo Deo Tao Gade Baranga Bara Samgade Bodhe So Dea Tha Gade Bara Samgade Bodhe So Dea Tha Gade Bara Sam Bodhe So Gere Tongda Jajo Shiwa Da Mede Temban Dosim Pezon Sojo Ne Dash Yo Sa Shibe Yo Chedan Dorjee Chonam La Janjo Bado Dane Gyaltsen Dagi Chujurun Jibe Tsonam Jen Rola Penje Sanjen Roba Sho Sanje Chedan Dorjee Janjo Bado Dane Gyaltsen Dagi Chujurun Jibe Rola Penje Sanjen Roba Sho Chedan Dorjee Chonam La Janjo Bado Dane Gyaltsen Dagi Chujurun Jibe Tsonam Jen Rola Penje Sanjen Roba Sho Simje Tamje Sojalana Yangda Zoga Sanyi Hobajubu Jinning Tabai Tishi Tabe Shu Sanyin Gunu Chanju Simjema Suji Saitan Sambashis. Let me remind every one of ourselves to take a moment and cultivate the highest form of motivation. We call it bodhicitta motivation or the altruistic motivation, seeking complete enlightenment for the benefit of all other sentient beings. And with that kind of at least contrived bodhicitta, altruistic motivation, we should all participate in this discourse on the Bodhisattva's perfection of wisdom gone beyond. Liu Chebe Tadirwege. Liu Chebe Tadirwege. Okay, I think we shall us back to end of chapter 8. And so we will complete that and then go to chapter 9. No.
Sumadingi tala damani divine shibe so de tela dingi jemdi shodo dobani simnyamba shanu nyumba ponge mini nyumba simnyamba masha nyumba ponge ni pe ye juzi de no shina jidini shina de jidini Mombar Shamaso, things in between Sholo, Seven Mombar Shudi. Long to Shilo, Bashike, Bajila Chicken, Jube, Shiva, Tami, Shiva, Chikim, Shiva, Shiva, Membatani, Mutomani, Lindama, Padmeva. Shiva, Tadita, Deta, Jiva, Dungi Jumbashile, the Gubeton, Pebe, Yumbash, Juzete, Tene, someday. Dog Sanji, Shasan, so Zundog, Nelo, Jibutamanaj, Jusu, near the Dragi, some solo, Genus Lover, Sharira. Shidalo, Young, Luzuna, Bariam, Pami, Pomi. Marchive, Liu Shiva, the Dimba, Labdudan, the Dudisole, Jungdo, Nela, the Sober, Shiva, Paiva Shave, Tam, Shika Shavanani, the Lord of Shamba Shadi, the Rangi, the Lake Paratani, Dinga, the Jiva, Nido, Mubo, so Divana Bangata, Jumbo, no. Number Toba, she no Jarano, Yambu, Dojung, Beber, Shaguzo. No, that Titan Midisho Boya, the Sujo Duagi, and the Tadibadi Midisho Boya, Midisho Boya Sierra, that Dinama in Tujo Duagi, that Karsa. This is not Digmar, but Lara, she said. Sugar said, and did a sugar sorry, did a shower. Gonzat Spena, did a cigar. Song to the church, me some that on the Gavash that job, the Impendo Maris.
No.
Bella Gavash, and that Suzu Church, Shaggy Tongoris. So the Kashay, though I mean, me chasing Gavash that job, the Fendo, that day. Midisho Gandisho with the Shijomers last attack, her shows there. That she had the thing is the joke where Caress that day. Thing is the Yabo Morana. And I did not mean that this girl she did give her courage in the top Shushu, Lumana, Mamma, she made the choir. So say at the Nevasibo Yonto Marwa. She the thing in the Jota, in the best. Marmel de Corasebo, and Labatan, many who never got Tongo, didn't Thing is the dog where depend. Thing is the Morocco and the Lord check is a good young land. Thing is the dog, you must check young lady, thing is the young lady, Fuksha, shower. So the thing is the payment of a cure, so that is also a thing is the Tambodogo is simply thing is the Yul Manina, Kazaka do the code you shower Marwa. Oh, dear.
So we are towards the end of chapter 8 on the perfection of samadhi or concentration. As Geshe read from his commentary and explained that what we have observed in this chapter, if we classify it's into two, what is almost like the do list and the don't do list, right? We talked about don't do this, don't do that. And so when we only talk about that, then somebody says, okay, this is all about don't do. So is there something I can do? Yeah. The example Geshe given is like at a conference, we are discussing some issues, the matters, whatever. And if you simply criticize what everybody else has said, and you don't have your own plan or anything meaningful to contribute, that is useless, isn't it? You just critique everybody else, and then you don't have anything better to say. Yeah? So as much as you critique others, you also have to come up with your own sort of plan or strategy to do things better. So like that, in terms of practice, we also need to be aware of what we should not do, and which are what called getting rid of the discordant factors, unfavorable conditions. And then we should also be aware of what are the things we should do, creating the favorable conditions and so forth. And of course, an important point of this whole chapter is the necessity to cultivate samadhi or concentration, right? And why that matters a lot is, as we can see, that without concentration, we don't have the stability of the mind. Even if we try to focus on something, our mind is easily distracted. So when we do our practice with distracted mind, our mind does not have the same power or the ability to accomplish results or the outcomes. And the example Geshe has given is like we have a butter lamp that is put out in the windy place. So this butter lamp, light is flickering like anything. So it itself might die soon. Forget about dispelling any darkness around, right? It's just like itself is not stable, right? But on the other hand, if we have a butter lamp lit in enclosed form, then that butter lamp have all the power, energy to be able to illuminate, right, everything. So like that, if our mind, is very stable, we have samadhi or concentration, one day of practice may equal to doing practice with distracted mind for a whole year. That is the difference why it is essential for us to cultivate samadhi, tenzin, or concentration.
The Shiva Tamsi Tumi Dunga Jilla Sanja, Pemba Minju, Ragiera, Tawa Kombacha, Shesos, Tinin Jidin Jidipuma Zudana, Jibangani Shidunles, go the Jordan, News Mugda, Mugbata, Nida, Dura did the Tism Des. Jibanga would give nor Toby Shungulabi, Chambers, Shiva, David, Deja, Newsida, and you Gunjini, Nimuni, Tezum, the Nala, the drug, Woody Zida, Bunus or Java, here the Shiva show. What is the church or the Sojadi? Shiva party and the Tandapati Kashin, Pepper Tonsan Shemi, maybe she come Nimbuzan, Shejas. Says that is on that bed, so the Hako to Shen, and the bay, you to cook race, Sajri. No yellow combat jazz, Jigdeb Poma, so then Jigdes said this I got some joy. Jigden Karsa Nakosia, Jigde Tabos, Jigde Carbosia, Jigde Tara songs Shajorva. I said the Kona didn't Nakosia. And it said the Yoshima did the Tamurava. That Yoshima Jigde Tamosia, so she what to do. But Jigde Shiva said the Bongo didn't see what I can't. Karsa Jibagane. She doing good and good, sim karsa Gaden Gaden is Mukbatan, neither duel did Tenzin Dorjee. River the given the trouble Shimgu ways, Lakwell Camerons, Theatre, David Deja, News and Gunje, Imuni, Tenzin Dorjee. Nada, did I to Munjitang, Ponzu saw the Java Hindi Sheva shows. What did that Drivanga said? They say, the Shangagun is the Director. Do you see Director? That Gunja Yisha, Yimu Yisha, Nari was easier. So to get that Karzana and Jidana and Kumachawas or Norjum Kumanjoti or the Chungu the race. Geshe Ganga, Parjeshiding, Swedi, Divagodi Shivaris. So the Dehako Shivaris, but it is that the Divanga said that he got the same to get Zueda. Mumba Gudu said the Giver, that what Shep the Dana, what Rosa said to get the Instagram.
So the Chibanga the Jinguni chicks again. Chibanga the Jinguni chicks. No. Double Dimbachano. Any?
And the Chagdo,
Tezum.
Tism,
Anything chick dear Juba again.
La,
Juba.
there shadow. Because Newsum did it. Newsum.
I'll know some chicks again. A Jinguni needs it again. Nemo needs la.
Gunju Ninja some shazwa.
Can't escape.
The Bajiro.
The debat that you Giovanni. Chicks Alamo. I'll name that's why.
What did it?
Assume that's sure get conda. Jinguni chicks, the Casa Dorjee chicks, Nietzsche. Then no. And it that knee must show. Nursum down. Nursum Coraji. I'll assume some and Tesmura.
La,
Double Dumba the Giovanni chicks go.
but the Corona Joya need the Giovanni Jigja in the Guba, the Giovanni Jigja.
Oh, I'll go. I'll go to Nietzsche. I'll go back to Giovanni, all the double Dumba the six. Needs any Jigwakora half Sanchez. I'll Nemo need chicks. That's some. I can't like the okay, I think this whole list, I have to make sure I get the list right? Because there, some combined looks like 7 or 8, then looks like 5. I'm like, okay, so I'll get the help of Geshe, right? So, the first I need to translate what Geshe said before. So now we have to realize that thus far, we really haven't kind of pursued our practice any meaningfully, sort of speak. We have lived a distracted life and we haven't accomplished much, and maybe we got distracted by many other things. So now it is high time for me to be able to kind of withdraw my mind from all these distracting things and stay focused, right, in my practice. So I want to be able to kind of stabilize my mind. And so there are certain things that we need to be aware of that are what we call tiba, like obscurations or obstacles, Tibetan word, to developing the stability of the mind. So the 5 are now, okay? And so the 5 are now, first we have remember, Goba is excitement and Gyoba, regret, counted as 1, okay? So that I told you that's 1, that's just 1. Then we have Dobala Dumba, which is kind of aspiration for sensual kind of objects, sensual things. That's 2. Then we have Nimu, which is sleep, and Mukpa is like sluggishness together. Okay, that's 3, right? Then the harmful intent, 4. Then it says number 1. And then doubt. Okay, now we have 5, right? Okay, let me run through the list again. So we have look once again. Doubt, I'm going in any order. Then we have sleepiness and sluggishness together as 1. That's 2. Then we have aspiration for the sensual whatever thing, 3. Then we have excitement and regret together as 1, 4. Then we have harmful intent, 5. Okay, so this time.
어디 다 뇌바스네 가서 그 수라죠 리자가 된들 샤고 샤고도 뇌바스 노용가 샤고 쓰고
So this
데려다 뇌바스 뇌자스 어디 노용가 샤고 쓰들 뇌자시 이네 가서 드네 뇌좀네现把这个뇌시가 삼아 섬 상바데 뇌좀 쓰기로 다 그바스는 섬 초아듯이 거주모이 제 그바시 그바스는 겨울 지와데 다디 저 미거 지고 미거 지와시는 겨와샤고로 다 겨울 저니 미거 쇼시 디 지와디 겨울 지와시 니네 하고로 와다
no.
다 목바스디 녀게스야 지방에서 베게
No.
다 녀스야 지금 베게 내가 가르치나 저 이제 가시는 지 신의 만대로 저 녀들이
So basically, Geshe will run through the whole list and try to explain a little bit. So where we translate as Debala Dimba, literally translating aspiration for sensuality, what really basically means is attachment to the sensual pleasures, right? That's what it really means. Yeah. And then the Goba is, we translate as agitation or excitement. Right? The mind is getting distracted there. And the Jyoba, regret, is regretting for the positive things that one has done, right? That's one. So they are counted as one together, right? So don't count separate. You might get 6 or 7 or 8, something like that, which I was getting before. And then the Ni, everybody knows, right? Feeling sleepy or sleepy-headedness, that everybody knows. And the Mukpa, which is counted along with it, is the sluggishness, right? We feel so sluggish that we don't feel like doing anything mundane or super mundane. It's just feeling sluggish, that's it. Then Nursum is the harmful intent, right? Wanting to harm someone, that's what it is. And then it has and then the doubt, right? And so all of these, what we call Tiba, 5 obstacles, obscurations, are mental factors or mental events, Simjung in Tibetan. And for details, as is suggested in the commentary, for these and other mind and mental factors, one could refer to Arya Vasubandhu's Treasure of Knowledge, Abhidhamma Kosha, and Arya Asanga's, Compendium of Knowledge, Abhidhamma Samukya, Ngamba. So these 2 texts have details about mind and mental factors and all of those things.
Dan dole la tiso namdo mariche moti koya gyaltsor tongshi mito tingsi la ni na ana kashi chima mewa jor he namdo do goba demba te namdo do go namdo thor goba demba te tedan ngare da kinya ba da je semda sim rangi mikbala zajik be dengizi ngurduba te midusho nawi bongo bata te pungala ya luda sim ember gobata lu ember tawla jidebe duziba gobata sim ember tawsula debala sobe namba do bopon gobata ambes to diwa yena den Samba hin ne kundang de hiso ye 通对因通对不是这些的写的是通了，我们的前面没多少，我记得，只是刚刚写的大量写在了吧，朋友写的这，的都说刚刚写在的，提到他的写的开始对吧？的通对说是都对点这些，现在几个这些，我现在就说到我第一的帮你呢，可是这个。小没得把你从别的，可是东西都写了不刚刚来呢，我当时的有时候当过的时候，但可是这是个对吧？他被什么影响都给他们没嘛，他跑的都是用的，你不说这样咋呢？没有是另外把用的是，他认识的还高的是把高些的，因为什么的有时候当过的时候的时候呀。
So because we are at the end of the chapter, so it pretty much summarizes what has already been explained in this and other chapters. For example, we dealt with a chapter on Pagyu, carefulness, conscientiousness, awareness, however you want to translate it, right? A lot of things we already discussed. So those are the things need to bring into practice. And so the things we have already discussed is that we have kind of lived a very distracted life, not just this lifetime, but since beginningless time until now. And because of that, we have not accomplished anything purposeful or meaningful. So now we want to change that, right? Gyurje. So it's important for us to realize that what has not worked thus far, leading a very distracted life, isn't it? And so we want to develop the stability of the mind, right? Focused mind. And so for that, the things we already discussed are like the need to isolate our, body or isolate ourselves from a hustle and bustle kind of life. That is isolating body from hustle and bustle, right? That's important. And then isolating our mind from crazy thoughts or discursive thoughts, right? This endless yagadi thing going in the mind. So we have to isolate our body and mind from all that hustle and bustle so that we are able to cultivate samadhi or concentration. And concentration matters, as we said. It really brings power to our practice, right? That it makes our practice very effective. And this is the time now we realize we have to bring that kind of a change within ourselves.
What is it? Tunjo nyembo de mane, jewe sebo tuje sebo seme wangawa, na jeju dar shaso ji nyeba juan de rere ne dobo shashi, chi mijong shawi shir, rekin webe nyembo top jene se, sene, tempo suba shade deyang, pangya ji langdor la se, nyinze shebare te nyinze khoryugdu mambena ta me dag sibe dungen namshi tarchi ne se sevan jur de menjur be chula sa ne se nyembo de chiwa nyang de tobe taso tongmar hene 고발에 매우 샤워스 뭐디 다디 빅베다들 솔다우스네 아니 저 저주세 봐도 예세 저주세 봐도 가르난 것도 어디를 야다고 그랬어 빼내서 메달이 가지고 하고 뭐로 손을 조발 됐어야죠 어디다 이제 빅베다들 어디다 윤디고조디 잡도 다조 있어야지 그 남녀들이 빅베다 빼이서 어디다 저주세 봐도 just 라고 그랬어 so this said that in shows what is lavnita so tada padilbe lega nunju of the shungse with tan juju tan of shed into lalin gito shogres but the betas that shows about the or the don't the nemashia to get some in the don't the your dig sound in long to speaking shogres or this
so the stanza 186 basically tells us, as Krishna explained, that we need to bring that change within ourselves, that thus far, not only in this lifetime, since beginningless time until now, we have led a very distracted kind of a life, and because of that, we haven't accomplished anything meaningful or purposeful. So now we want to change that. So we do not want to live any more distracted kind of a life, but we want to live a very focused life, and so bring that stability of the mind into our practice and actions. And so to be able to do that, of course, this is something we may not have done before. For anything new, we would appreciate role models, isn't it? Who did that? Are there anybody doing that? Well, so as we said before, we have enlightened beings and bodhisattvas. These are our role models. They did that, and so we want to follow in their footsteps. And as Geshe said this before and again today, that when we go for refuge in Sangha, so we said we take refuge in you as our spiritual companions, isn't it? Friends, buddies. And so they are the role models. And so we would like to learn from their life how to live a very focused kind of life. And so basically, if we continue to live this kind of distracted life, there is not going to be any end to our suffering. The story continues forever. But we want to end the suffering, so we need to change our way of living. So which would involve, as we say, lang thor. Lang means to adopt, thor means to get rid of. So we have learned what are the things we should get rid of, we should abandon, we should not do, the don't do list. And what are the things that we should adopt, cultivate, do list, right? So basically, our practice consists of practice of adoption and abandonment, And so we can model our practice on the examples of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
미두쇼봉고베 GSTDL 방사 중이 방사 제바세 타다세 셔드 신여부 제바제 남에도비 락도제 고라 대구디 신의 생이서 생이부터 고신 대토방 대 미두쇼 소 줄외세 로베 람가르셰베 나르셰베 데베 남도 라소바 Ribangam Lilo Danga Java Shingu Joy Nibo du Mishiba Shingu Shene Sim Never Dushiba Yevanga Nibo Dumba Zoad Teba the Hinjan Shindu Jangba the Chamba the Shishi the Simbata Dushe Tanyante, Point Dushe Ge Tembada, Shaya Sem Neve Tab Guso, Ding the Jeves, Tab now the Denes, Lobelam Tedales, Simcher Lemba de Shirdoba Shede, Sushin Yela Shebe, Shakbe Changshin. Chembe tabe kune tamburta la yang tabe geve mi bala tu tabar yang dag semne hindu mayima tsejig yabar shaus partu sos parju dibale tseme number hi sheshin Yeni Yabasha Shishir Shabishir Migle Sama Yam Chuna Chebe Chaya Duasha Jibanamle Rangi Lango Rama Top Chuna Shaju Dobasha Lango Rama Top Chuna Shaju Dobasha Shin Lobe Sole Dobasha Sheso Deyan Hine tumo rubju nyensar songhi tumo mai be rubju jebar so do kamala hile gorun tar yimbar sa dresen du shela hyunde da henyam badan je menu da simson di dengi di ngo rubi hine tumo mai be gum temba yinje du da sa sagusola migdes shene shine ruju temba menos o dire da shine sa deso da kanje ada di tondo adira se tondo ade deso parju de was lo bo dira semena do hihi da nayin do hihi yin nyaba kyabi se mile samba nyamchurza migbal nyamna indin rugma wadiso chembe chen dewa chas lamsa hihin rugba she su migbal chaur se dira ngas lamrin awdi dewa na rang yi langbu rong to gyena angbo rong to gyena shagyu do ba shawashi lobe so kaji midime nayin da goba da nayin do jene en miwa rangsa sha ni gogo res siwa tiya hine tumo duju ta de hime hine sa jira nangwe khapju marba shiro bala hine yora shide hine tumo duju ngoba gudu da sade twa sunga tigeri tumo she ta tumo ma gonjo pa lo kamala hile gonjo lu sungdu de en ngado tonyi men dire saibra ta tumo mai duju entere şey yası orada. Karza karza yine cezin şeyler şun de ya da yenya ba karza loba da şey de şimdi tumo dünya sorusu var tumo kamala ki gonu su baziye şurada da yenya da cebe menula sim sone ti dengi di yungo gibi şimdi tumo ayı gomda de ama iyice diyorsun da la kusola bildiğin şey ne şimdi düzüte ama menos o de cidden şimdi le mikba karşı şey ama var karı doğru şimdi karı binen diyor. Tanrı'nın lazı dolaşına, ne sadece konuşmadılar da, mina çoğusa var da, sanki zıcamadılar yungurası, sanki konuşmadılar migora. Da kayışı da mil, doyan çekim tavsiye var. Kayışı da dişi da ceza şimdi dünyada insana tumu var es. Da gururlu şey be, tumu mayı be, eni ton ilmi batişe. 다른 dünya en şarjı dahi yamcı komuş koç de atumu mai bere gorwa ya da di düzüte yine tumu mai düzürüz şirba nyamdo maris o da yine duva di çıbari di şena de mikba savlu do che orista o ti mikba savlu do che de tumu mai bares o ti da çocuğu koran de dahi yamcı komuş goba sa yine düzüte tumu mai şey ene gorun parvalsına ene da bitti çıkıyorsa bir donyi 제국신 동일도 제국신 누구로 해야 두봉마이 바이스 다 예사다 군디도 해야 돼 지다 싫어봐 두봉와 지다 신의 좀 줘야겠지 어디서
So Geshe-la's reading of the commentary and explanation pertains to the concluding stanza 187. Of course, the goal is to be able to uproot all the afflictive emotions along with their predispositions or latencies, right? That's the goal. And what can literally help us to be able to do that is the wisdom gone beyond, or wisdom realizing selflessness, right? But then to be able to have that wisdom, first we must cultivate shamatha, or calm abiding, or shine, right? Without which, we cannot cultivate that wisdom powerfully. And so calm abiding matters a lot, shine. But then the calm abiding or shamatha is not something exclusive to Buddhist path of practice. It is sometimes called a common path, right? Common between Buddhist and non-Buddhist, i.e., in my footnote, Hindus, right? That's meaning what it is. So from the common perspective on cultivating calm abiding or shamatha, any focus or object will do. You can just focus on a twig or a pebble or whatever, right? Is as good as as an object for cultivating calm abiding. And so the common way of cultivating calm abiding shamatha has been explained by Asanga in his Abhidhamma Samukchaya, Compendium of Knowledge, and Sharvaka Bhumi, the levels of Sharvakas, like that. But then the uncommon way of cultivating shamatha or calm abiding is what we have really observed in this guide, Shantideva's, where we have talked about, together with equalizing and exchanging self for others. And through such attitudinal changes of development, we also talk about developing stability of the mind or samadhi, concentration. Okay, that's very uncommon in the sense we could say exclusive to the Buddhist practice. But another uncommon explanation is done by the great Indian master Acharya Kamal Shil in his Bhavana Krama, or the stages of meditation, and where he talks about cultivating calm abiding, I think analyzing and focusing on emptiness, right? So those explanations are uncommon explanations of cultivating calm abiding. But in general, calm abiding or shamatha is nothing Buddhistic about it. It is a common practice. And however, in the Buddhist context, for example, in Lamrim, our gurus advise that instead of focusing on anything, just try to focus on an image of a Buddha or a guru, right? And because by focusing on that, we are also able to accumulate a lot of punya or merit, right? If you simply focus on a pebble, right, there's no merit there. So that's why, an image of the Buddha not simply serves as a focus for developing calm abiding, but it's much more than that. It helps us to be able to remember the kindness of the Buddha and accumulate merit and so forth. And sorry, and so I said a lot, so I was trying to remember everything. So we have talked about what are the things that we must do to cultivate calm abiding, which is the whole process, isn't it? We are going through 9 stages of mental development, and then we talked about what are the things that are impediments to cultivating calm abiding, such as laziness, forgetting the instruction, meaning forgetting the focus object, and not applying antidotes when the laxity and excitements are kicking in, or applying antidotes when they are really not there, right? All of those things, plus the all other practices, right? So those are the things explained, for example, in the context of Lamrim and so forth.
Then share because Rigbena the Taye, Tony La, Tony Dana Pani, Tigumzu Dela, Young Tangbon, the Tony Tobe, Tawa. Dana Padi, Tene, Dakin Yamja Gumne, Goni, Chonjus Gumbala, Juba, Yola, Tia on the Shena, love you so. Shili Tony Gumzu, Jever Dane, Tijo the Dakin Yamja Gumzu Deba Yin and Yan Days. Donna Shonju Sim Shonju Sim, the Tony Tobe, here 你有阶段就是把你也把第二的写吧，找我是，那现在过年是，现在我们就这，他妈我们也没说，也没了，也没，我们朋友现在我们去说，也吧，现在送把单写吧，上午。写吧上午，那个是，准备他的Dharma赢了，我3天了，两把肉锅边是就解决的，多这吧，第一节吧写吧一遍，同度啊样意思，我这同度啊意思，这大考就。那城市什么样的公园，他东西样的公园就是人不开要嘛的时候，他小开些东西样的公园，那东西公园那现在就对公园要的，开些的样样城市什么些，那天天啊，看在对公园要这现在，他的城市什么东西的现在那种公园，我是人不开要嘛的，看你看错过是吧？我的那种要的是，我觉得他的。因他的销售告诉，销售什么的人解释，销售什么解释呢？现在东西批了留些我了，的意思。
So as Geshe read from the commentary and explained that in terms of cultivating Changju Sim, bodhicitta, altruism, and the wisdom gone beyond, wisdom realizing emptiness, there is no a particular sequential order set in a rock. It can be done in either way. So there are two approaches. One is first cultivate bodhicitta and then cultivate the wisdom gone beyond, or other way around. First cultivate the wisdom gone beyond and then go to develop bodhicitta. Great Bodhisattva, Mahasattva Shantideva in this guide, Bodhisattva Chart Avatar, has first explained cultivating conventional bodhicitta, right? Especially in this chapter 8, through equalizing, exchanging self with others. And then in the chapter 9, in every detail, talked about the wisdom gone beyond, right? So this is one way to, because we need to cultivate both, right? It's not options for us in this, so to speak. But in other texts, sometimes, for example, in the Shiksha Samukcha, compendium of trainings, Bodhisattva, first the emptiness, wisdom gone beyond is explained, and then cultivating bodhicitta, the other way around, isn't it? So there is no set order in which we cultivate bodhicitta or emptiness, right? It could be cultivated, whatever works well, so to speak,
Вот эти кажется, я вот не он сева даусы сея, сене гонго юден, здесь кажется, то дева есть, да муадин сари, хера люди жорим бро, да муад мал, чужу гонзу намги, донде муадеро, да что же варсать.
No, so.
Вот это писи. 생제 자뭐 말로다 되면요.
어디나 민두게. 나.
다 저지저 지금 남아서 여가는 저지저 저는 거 뇌에서 능은 내 봐. 내가 저도 더 거기 너희들 좀 줘라면 내가 김이시를 이제까지 와도 거기서 이거 다들 드시되고 정연들 저지스베 진짜 그 타입의 차이냐서도 리즈로는 나서야 될라이 가서 두고 힘을내도 빠사히도 좀 등등 와다가 뭐 계속 인지지 빼마스 세대 소다 그 녀서다 냠거죠 소부들이 이제 pomborkur 사이시스 사와 누르르나 이셔와 힘을 거기 내리 강화 다마도 소이셔와 되는서도 메도셔바 핀도 이도 돼 되는서 메도 페바 Sure, made a show the Shaku, the dog gave to the lady. Someone legendary by the Shiji with the child, Shaku was not doing it to go to kill it and again there the water, how to go there. Without much boy, yeah, but I see so I don't get the lower there, singing the Shana Boson. Try the Jawabala, everybody to get out with it, do it, Congo, do it, dog in the shoes of a saw. Shouldn't switch over Jawama, he those. Tujali was without the message, shall be causing you on John Tratan, that was Mr. Do a theatre, get up on the son, shall use of Rabbis. Say it is the shower, but you're the mobile guy, Rodan Shell, Dummy, me, that saw, how much I saw, child, that treated us, saw, long you made them, woman, how much you really Roman name saw, Chibin squad and Shiva, Jevan, said, go, you should have don't like him at all, Jevan, not a young and the God, is it, and then Papa so simply the way she was driving, you near the driving or down, you want me travel and you make it, you want to George, 2 minutes, 20. Send the people years, Gilum, Robota, Tamsa, saw that you come, trust you. The people go to treasures you, but near a sourdough, she was the station in the kitchen. Young language chaban, Chaban, and Robota, Cheki, Sugar, made the Gosol, young Shivago, Hatas or medical tower, says the opposite on the town, search of Tamsin and Catholic, don't she show me, Romata show, see, would tell you, Catholic, so put the watch you did. I just had a dog so there, since the divorce upon the dog go shows. So, you dig with the boy, see that I say upon me that the also is church or in the Pasa he came with the shirt was touches the river of the Ladita Iberia, Yabadi, quite you labor the Range, labor side of it, gave us the Jago Shad, Nagali, give each other, that so you think the shirt and a drill of a show, high to the table, who Gibashi, Jigita, men of Sunda, Sandy, correspondence of interesting. See you got Dobo, Jim, Kaya, you made him a 2 on law, the Kato Dowdy. You do to work, you do turn, draw, you love the Galanta, Embata, Tower. You are the Japan, the Galana, you tell no more theatre. Soon you will soon show you doubt the bus, the rest the human, Kevin, go out, soon you the tower. You saw the good shower, you do me, God, you are lucky, Lugan, tell something you see you go, Lemon, the song here, now you song here, there was some start there, show yourself. Rosa got a go in the concept of Sina, the Tiger was again the Dodgers. Sarah got over, down Sarah Towers. Rather short towers, you down the college and yonder, so Sarah could end. Pusundo Batoba, you contact on the Jewish or the Goboshi in nearby tower, motors. The question is about the go about the Gata. Since you could not drive a ship, she died judge without your dinner. She did not got never, she did draws in the age of Tida and draw doing a soul, draw doing a council. To go down, me, shall speak to the draw a delago, draw doing a magic. The water in June, the Demba, you could have said you need Congress, Japan. You make it a Dasha says, Gola, his hours, Chuba was that. Deep Carla was a more yard, Chosen Yardua. She lived when it's in the Sunday Lu, shut up, she did, Chuba. That did not Joju de Coram, that you should have good in the cheapest Kayato. The Molum did lost, so you made the hair to the ending of the Monocorama that told you because my don't have this.
So in this commentary, the author has kind of put the dedication of the guide right after discussing the Bodhicitta chapter, right? Usually in our, it is the last chapter, chapter 10. So Geshe read the whole dedication prayers to give us the lineage oral transmission, but Geshe has received teaching on the guide from His Holiness, but he really doesn't remember he really actually got the oral transmission of this dedication, but he assumed he did because he received teaching on the whole guide. Yeah.
What did it? Because that did man Jujan, you go to data, and that Jones could have moved the could sing the jam or check what I can do. The singing she will go to so those Gagi was trouble here, Mara. She said that did Jujan that much law can remember me. That me was Seba son the never carry no teacher. Redame de quoi des English houses seem to come on the Jigded Lindy, Juno Tower Churu, Kong Savon, Hinanda, Shimdorus, Yonde Shulu Tension, Lig Juba, Gaden Jonda, Tenzin Dorjee, to use them. The Javan Yugo Tomar Reve, sumo tinyi pangmi gongbu lomna yawang shishima dongji sada doba dang misu gegi gula zhebe shoka zam padi menyo shunwe rigwa sumi no zunzhu namde Juba Kondi Jo, something Siba Dong something Sibe Judong Le Judong San Jai Dongbur Gesemba here Chuji Demba Nimar Shang Tama Yons Bimbe Goni. Subye sha kaji si da simi jiba kun se wa jave blodo puzo de la ra leshin te yang jese nanji sonu de tomba sheda shaye tana sundi jiko jilla ema gewe kinye liksun singma re yang tenden dadi Parchang de what the car mambo shivi do. Tali was low, you carry the way. Shouses a bit about the chigger, Shayang, Pincher Chubi, Yigesu, Jay, Majutam Tele, showing Gezo Zabil. Nimakang, Yesi to Jesulovi, Majutor, Dizu Bunja Tami, she, Jajo, she, Kuzul baby, Yomoso, member, did you touch it? Jigu Gel, Jigu give, de, so give Jigu Gunde, Tizu, ne. Number Tamji came, it's Sesson later. Geshe Phuntsok number Gyeltsen, so that Pende Kansa Zemo Jeva Richard Tiksho Lam Dong Hinye, Romi Season said, Duzi Gomo Chame Sheve, Tosum Shi, do the Mudu Mumbe, Kumbur Gosum Ching, Tena Ganam, Zungar Sava Jegu Chik, Try Kaji, should you the get doba. Missy Genji would jump over there. Phuntsok no be treasure, Geshe never show. So, the body that is the Dikaji, Shida Jumbi, Minchable, Luti on the Dinja double Manu, Sami Rojo Kudi Jebe, Pionche, Setahi that the Pendi Kaji, Regan Doyle Langzo, Jigdil Sauna. Subi Sebo Geshe, Jeveru Angi Jew, Jebizi, try to take it, 这一点是从误用电锯机，现在也是小区身边这玩意就被熊上一些脑部的问题，多多明啊个这位就是长的是，个人希望各位些人，突些新闻这样吧，说突击公吧，用是公吧等，听把说个人艰难解释。老者一边么开始推荐当，听的真正叫没为什么玩能，前边你话明个为是，甚至说是，人都没你嘛，什么都别解释什么什么是，推荐手机上不写，才没为，个人当，突击当一件的是熊流，个听把什么。多那些多的人就把我把它准备，路日没我给历史全部成为到了，结果他给这都用作这么这些生意，碰上这把些问题呢，特别这那些用的也没些把，就但是么有的确多，最多了谁的是怎么不？这你这。电柱不用过堂吧？我用崩了，想要落在红布边上不行啊你这个怎么就会下家？把你什么准备推荐弄啊当？你要那吧？阿边呢？我说龙穴当，这位水出去吧的，他别冷。给用心他们能去，都把头给呗是，学生上不觉得用心他们可是，我刚边这个用心刚把么呢？提前的做吧是叫我世界现在这个样子的人际，新的老的说是我们说的是民族主义，早上的是假设从你。这从你学，其实我们找的送，天天说的这么人家的开始送去，进了这吧呢，学一场呗，啥人也是呗，今年的学的做个来看个那么些人，没得了。电脑叫做设备人不说，理解早晚的这帮助的，我在这里我也什么有，天天也是我们留下的，天天多了偏被了解吧，了解吧，你是因为年纪人路了，慢慢社会也普的，所以就其实。这个怎么准备说？现在叫世界几万不的提炼土是就下把些长呗，整个人开始用到电呗，水面来那没，现在理想的这些年关键说的平均那能的电脑让他去做。的送这么同为前面那个前面没个说，做年的去把阿别些，那送的是那个是30年，康中那个的说可能明白是，这种给我些，点的就那么他们送给你。对老周留的那他叫用着电的有的叫做些人，全部用他这编织的，罗真真他罗真安不的，然后他们全部上升给特别建筑是吧？因为我不懂啊，除了下些当啊。那么的那个老啊，因为是，有的叫做啥的推荐些是， Jajang Sarbe Changbe, Lik said the Yeji Hundred Deng Sugar Chair, the dog Yezo, Tungun de Tumba Gundepel, Mobor Yeve, Son Short, Cheddar, other Maya Nishi, Cheddar Mal Nishi Dromeshi, Luzo Donda Yumi Show. Nimisho, Cheva Lamia Tuxi, Turu, Hingbe, Jinjo, Lodu Terjube, Sago Lama Shui Ying, the Chilean Juder, Jimmy Nature Chicks. Then I did all. Corsa Luxo Gundo, Chilean show, Cheva Lame Tuxi, Tour, Hingbe, Lodu Terjube, Segun Sagon, Sama Shui Ying Zo, Chilean Tutor, Nume, Segur, De la Chito Gindi, Jazotam, Abe de Liki, Guriki, Henyang. Yet the Rinwan, Nebe, Joe, Janya permit Deva Maluba, Shada down the devil low member. Said the bagation, Yambi Lu, Gunya Tixo, Tambe short, ye see. Song you chebe, said Namju Uyusho. Ye do long the dobe, the Yichen. Here the drebe, Suma. Jendeba, Tsumi Lame Namder, Ishi Noro, Dahi Yogi, Gaden Zegur Chill, Cheve, Sebajamus in Dishi, Givishi Tamba, Abene, Sungutars, Tanum Lama, La Racing, Dumbe Gezer, Shajewa, Kamatashi, Shubi, She, Give, Shamachu, that did there, because this are the church Chavasya, what the patient, the part go with the Tanga, the Corner Loma Tiri Corlan, Javi, part Javi, she said, dear Sanji Deva Giada, Simji, the Jago Tondalia, Yung Voyachi, the person Moses had this.
The Zaba put send a church to whatever again.
La,
Then the Jabat again, the church to whatever.
the person was the church of Marta, Loma. Joju Corona, they didn't get it, church of
So basically, there was a very long colophon after that, so Geshe decided to read it anyway, all the way through. And so that really consists of, the author of this commentary, Geshe Gyeltsen, is called Chögyal Takpa. And so, I mean, his student helped to publish this work. And so he did a lot of dedications for their merit, and he wrote a lot of auspicious verses. That's what Geshe was reading through. So before that, Geshe read the whole dedication of the guide, and he thought dedication is easy to understand. There is no need to explain it. It's just taking more time to do that,
What did Garza? Because it did Garza. Did you shut up because Constitution Charles Lama Hira Chabo Chuji Shaburis in Jawad Hira Pento was Shuburi, the get million the big similar Paya Tonda, the government would give them motion in T. Jesu, the publishing is Tonda,
No, sir. So the gist of everything is that this great master by the name of Chögyal Takpa, authored this commentary on the guide, and it's like a treasure trove. So he has done that kind of to repay the kindness of his gurus and also help open the wisdom mind of those who have Mahayana inclination. And his students realize that kindness, and so they have appreciated their the guru's work, and so they published it. And then the guru did all the dedication and auspicious verses on their behalf or for them. Yeah.
Oh, that Shera Liu got the Masimo, the Shera Liu Korong, Long Loya, the Pizza Jumalon, Yaksa, the God Mates, she carries. The Karsa Junjuk, the young that Shera Liu Korong, the Malona Yang, the Shady to Regumar, the Juju Koro, you should know good that position of the Yinson Reg, Shady, the Jawadi Chidi Yomari, Jawadi Kedara, Juju Korango, the Shady. In Teridima, God, Jawadu Kates, Law Shady, the Juma, the Shera Liu, and Sawe long the march is.
So the next chapter from the guide is chapter 9 on share of wisdom. And Geshe received teaching on the guide from His Holiness 2-3 times. And so he felt it's very essential to give the whole oral transmission of the text because that's part of what we call Sheti, explanatory commentary on that. I'm looking at the time, so he can't read the whole the chapter 9 today, give oral transmission, which he will do next week. But today he will just start off reading, some commentary on the wisdom, and he might explain that. Right? Yeah.
Oh, the Dali Jawa Korang should you do? Oh, the game I do is
No.
You go back here because Shilly. You go back, Shirablu, Shungjays, Shujos of Zobataja, that was Shuju Umsudi, Bendatara, Congregation Shono, Dorjee the Six Song, the Jenda Mawani, the J. Tomater Shartse, Kebe der Jambe Young, Sanos. Lutumcha, Dorjee to see Pala, Maya Chujo, Sumlan du. Tube Saki, Sangi Yang, Lanza says in Daveka, Zeba means Shevela, Taje Sunzi Sumlan dus, did the Suju Koron Jawa Suju. Here is the pair of a pair of suit, this is the gauge, Benza Yamin to gauge, say, he said. Cogday Jung Shun, Dorjee says, Seki, Dorjee need to Seki song. Today can that Ma, here they can the Mawani, the Toba to the Shartse, and Daja Toba. Tebeda would Toba Daja, Shajatava Shartse, because that charity, Cogday Tenzin Dorjee. Congress said, Tenzin Shun was what they don't. Karsa, there was the more than me going to say, the Japan go to say, do that Tenzin go to I tell you, this is what more than me going to do. I said, what did that show you? Some years do it. Show like some years to do what they just.
The master Chujitapa commentator, before he begins explaining the wisdom chapter, he has his own what we call expression of worship, Chuji, literally translating or obeisance to the holy beings, and so he has how should I say made his prayer to Shakyamuni Buddha, our founding teacher, for teaching Pratit Samutpat or dependent arising. So this is a particular way of praising it. It is called literally, Mawa Dame, praising Buddha from the perspective of someone who is a peerless speaker, speaking about dependent arising, Pratit Samutpat. There are other ways of praising Buddha, sometimes that you are the incomparable one in terms of this and that. So he has said, Buddha, you are the one who taught dependent arising and what it means to have free from elaborations, So therefore, you are the peerless speaker there. And then he, praised other luminaries' notes. So next, he pays his respect to what he called the Mabe Kyucho, a host of three, like sort of three like three best speakers. Maybe that's the easy way to say it. And about the emptiness, and so there are. So he praised Manjushri, who is the embodiment of the wisdom itself, right? And then to Arya Nagarjuna, who is the pioneer of the Madhyamikan system, right? Prasangika Madhyamikan. And then his main disciple who has illustrated his work, Arya Deva. So three of you constitute a host of three best speakers on emptiness. And I respect you. And next, he proceeds to the three upholders of the Madhyamikan system, the middle way, free of the two extremes, and these are the realized Buddhapalita, Sanghya and the incredible elucidator Acharya Chandrakirti, and to the great Shantideva. So you are the great upholders of the middle way system, and I bow down to you. So next, respect the spirit to the great master of the land of snow, exemplified by the Jirumbuche, Lama Tsongkhapa, and then other masters of the land of Tibet, and then also to all the great masters of the Arya Desh, or the land of Aryas, or India, who followed the middle way system.
소다 제지 가진세 계획신이 라양 샤시 때 이제 샤시 때 시베 어디버다 시가지 성주주 라주베다 성주세베디 간제 티바시보 라우나가디 계획신이 강가래니 디차지고 간제 제제도 가서 이제 다면님보다 현대 정서 저저저저 명아 계획이다 그런 센서를 가진 내가 걸 찾아야지.
So next, he pays respect to all his lineage gurus, who have, taught the Mahayana path or the Bodhisattva's path, and given the pit instructions on this path and practice.
중국에서 나자를 그러와 거기 시베 동행 들어가서 디풀티 희와시가 타로디 가르세는 중국 약주도 가르세는 사무 대중을 동의 되리스 동의 모든 거 저하고 디세 다 뒤에 또 바코나래 래 세자지 시메라 시고니방 유명실 탑주를 봐 제데 제 베데 람데 때나 Beba race. That did Timor Records. The in the call to the Tabatava, Tony Mother, Josiah, and Tony Tav is imaging bakeries here. That was
so the next is a kind of exhortations that anybody who cares to end the pain and suffering of samsara, there is no second way or the option B, but the only option is to understand the meaning of dependent arising and emptiness. And so therefore, I exhort you to pay attention to this matter.
Tibetan umelam sabashiva tuje kang lungru tume lingdume hiralu shungdi jul sita di zomba tamja dire ka tije sonza tonye di keshe bo shore seta dan di hiralu jawa zamge insite zomba tamja jinja.
And so highlighting the necessity to realize emptiness, dependent arising, to end suffering of samsara and attain nirvana. So now he, makes the pledge of composition, right? So therefore, I endeavor to explain this, wisdom chapter.
That this king to us had because the Zoma said, and a cable hit Mahiba, Sarhi to Kai Mace. In the Zomal Keva to your name to Drea Kai Mace. In a Takora Karsa, go well in some use agitator.
No, sir. So next is called the expression of humility or humbleness. So basically, the master is saying, commentator, that I don't have any skills in the art and literature or composition of some kind, and I don't have any extra knowledge about the matters that other scholars, realized beings, didn't have it. But for some purpose and reason, so I endeavor to do this commentary.
동일의 공부하셔서 동일 공부하셔서 돈다 지금 요새 그러지. 다 개념도 로면 가야라 영스 영 자라 편바 줄시라 개념세는 소소를 베가다 로도 지금바죠 소소 메모죠 디야 지시는 편도죠 연구했음. 디저 그반죠 소소 공부하지다 현나 때 설명해서 디저 이 삼기 요새 그러지.
Right. So the expression of humility says that, I don't have any expertise in art and literature composition and trying to show off something here. I don't have that. And I don't have any extra knowledge that other scholars, realized beings don't have. So there's nothing new to say for me, so to speak. But then for some reason, I endeavored to do this commentary, and for two reasons, namely, for my mind to have familiarity and habitual imprints about emptiness and dependent arising, self-benefit. And then this might also benefit others who are in equal fortune to me. That means who have the same kind of interest and level of intelligence, right? It is possible that people who share the same fortune, they might find some benefit reading this. So for those reasons, so I endeavored to, do this commentary. And also there have some people who asked me to do this, okay? So to fulfill their wish, because they told me, why don't you do this, right? And then I also want to have more habitual imprints on my mind of emptiness dependent arising. So it's possible that because they requested, people in the same fortune might get some benefit. So I take delight, right? I feel very fortunate that I have this opportunity to do this. So therefore, for those reasons, I have decided to do this commentary on Bodhisattva, Mahasattva Shantideva's Bodhisattva Char Avatar, a guide to Bodhisattva's way of life, which consists of 10 chapters. And of course, chapter 1 started with the benefits of cultivating bodhicitta, and then Shantideva explains the difference between aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta that involves taking commitments or the vows, bodhisattva. So having taken the vows, then he talked about the need to engage in bodhisattva actions or deeds, which basically consists of the 6 paramitas or 6 perfections. And so in particular, he talked about the 2 last perfections, the perfection of concentration or samadhi in chapter 8, and the perfection of wisdom in chapter 9. So I decided to, do a commentary on this.
배송시 깔려 자고 그래서 direct 납작시와 즉시 돈다 주다디 노르든 돈즈 숨.
And so the master said that I'm going to present my commentary on the wisdom chapter under three major outlines. The first one is a very synoptic presentation, basically why one must realize or understand emptiness, why cultivate the wisdom gone beyond. The second one, I'm going into details, how to cultivate or generate the wisdom gone beyond, or the wisdom realizing emptiness, so details about that. And then the last one is kind of my advice. So therefore, you should, it's worthwhile to make efforts to cultivate the wisdom. So under those three outlines, I will present my commentary on the wisdom chapter. So we will stop there today, and we welcome your questions. You don't have.
Nothing online yet?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for teaching today. I just had a quick question. I think in a previous class, Geshe talked about the doubt. That's one of the obstacles, doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And can I just confirm, did he say basically there's like positive doubt and a negative doubt? Negative doubt, is that a doubt that kind of veers more towards either nihilism or eternalism, whereas the good kind of doubt is kind of like taking the Dharma as our working hypothesis. Maybe we don't completely understand it yet, but we still kind of maybe have faith that this is the correct answer. Is that true?
Sure. Quran condition is the Tundrangema de in a Tigmendo, Dicadolia, and Tesum Sumarwage, Tesum Sundukalia, Vegetation Meroda, and the Ting again. Tunjurji Tesum, the term in Jurji Tesum the Roage, Sedukala, Digi, Sessions Naro Nasus Roage, term in Yuga Tesum, Sedukalia, Chi Carso, or the medium Cholia, Samotan, that's Roage, then Yuga Tesum, so there's a Yagachol church or Samotan did it, Tesum de Roage, this is Yoronasa.
Tesum said the Kari, how about it? That is the Penda Joshima Yodam made of some a picture Joshima Yosa. You remember some Tonju Tedun
No, so.
That Tom just the user some young bears or Tom and Jitism.
No, so. Tesum the Nimashi Maroge.
La,
Don't you the term you get some machine Omar?
don't do that. You're the man as a picture user is a
La,
picture Joshima user is a
Tunju. You're some arrested to me.
You're the man, the picture user Marissa.
That Yemen Larua, that Chanum Jammer get his own.
That Tom was your child, you're there. That can't know some. You should make it there.
Okay. Chidan Tesum Sidik and Deshe Yedu, the Koran lots and Yiba Jisha Uroga. No. So the Tibetan word Tesum we translate as doubt. So it is literally called, two-pointed mind. Maybe didn't say anything. It's just like a pendulum that's swinging between this and that. It doesn't know which side, right? That's called a doubting mind. And so we talk about three types of doubts. And if we use this example of life after death, right? So you think about that and you think, okay, is there life after death? Right? You think, looks like there is, probably, right? Then that's we called the doubt that is inclined towards the possibility, right? We call Tunjuji Tesum, literal translation called meaningful, favorable kind of doubt, okay? But as you're thinking about life after you start, I really don't think so. It just seems like a baloney, So that would be the negative doubt or the doubt, unfavorable doubt, tending towards the what's called annihilation or that side. Are you with me? Then there is possibility of sort of more balanced doubt, right? Just, people say there is, people say, I really don't know. It could be, it could not be, I don't know that. So that's kind of we call more like a balanced doubt. Okay, does that make clear? Yeah.
If I could just ask a follow-up, so it kind of sounds like the positive kind of doubt is almost like open-mindedness, where you accept it could be possible, whereas the other kind of doubt, the negative one, maybe is, like you said, a nihilistic maybe, or kind of it definitely, because I don't understand it, it definitely is not possible.
Right.
Is that kind of like that?
I'll have to go back to him. Korang this ko tinju ke thezom de mi tes lo ku yang bor jesa de sarwa ge ta phe je yena men phe je yesa de ko lo ko yang bor sarwa ge de mi yu de mi tang ko lo chen ra da de yena men de yesa ma re tang ko de sam da ro ge lo pa me be chol chung de ko ro ba o de de be sa sem ku yang lo ro sarwa ge sem pu su do ka de yo ma re slam da yesa ma de yu ro ge ko yang de da ye chog ge sa de sam sa sing ko ro ge no right yeah you can say that. Right, the positive mind or the favorable mind, the mind we call inclines toward the fact, so to speak. That's more open-minded, right? You're not sure, but it's more likely. But negative mind is kind of already like already your mind is made up, sort of. I don't think this just this is BS. Only Geshe never says that, but I said so yeah.
And then I just had another question too. So I was wondering what the difference is between excitement and the aspiration for sensual, I'm assuming, you didn't say this, but sensuality, I was assuming, but I think you said literally sensual objects.
Okay, yeah.
Because I would think aspiration, like, kind of carries excitement with it, but maybe is excitement just a general sense of, like maybe just mania or agitation, I guess.
Digi chi ko yawa chero nasa ko koba yoro wage. Same koba. Koba ta 되게 되발로 dimba세죠 와게 나 되영알 착바세죠 와게 그래서 사람들 되발로 dim바다가 나로 거바들 레데서 레서 와게 디니 케바르스 칸데 나서 와게
되발로 dim바치 되니 그래
아 거바 증거는 거바 성에죠 와게
거바
거바
알 거바 dim바데 배과거다
그래서 마디 dim바디 나를 앞에서 거바 레데서 코스 빅 더자르 티에네 들고 담을 셈 디차르고 와게 셈 거르고 말베스 거게 차서
되발로 dim바세는 티스거다 수자치로 리장하고 그런 데지 차고다 되발로 dim바세고라
노서 dim바세도 수 고야가 상담 거 봐게 dim바세도 나를 충나서네
소소 뭐봐
알았어 안에
뭐죠 말이
충나서게 제가 말 뭐보다
야고다 따서 야고다
다다 어리 직도 어리 닝체라 다지 직도 사이즈로 올렸어
뭐봐 생각해서 가게 요새
어레 라라로스 다 거바세디
dim바세는 통은 이해하세요다
거바
쇼나섬 dim바라
타기 네마드 그래 네마드 게 dim바 말베 because 소다 티로 랩사 되는 닝체라 저서
dim바세고라 dim바세야 되는 dim바세야 돼 말이지 dim바세는 소소비 심축으로 되는 dim바세고
dim바세디
dim바세는 약간 될다 dim바세는 되자랑데 도용을 샤고
가야다 디게 쓰고 그러다 도용을 샤. 다 거바세나? 나. 그래서 dim바세나 라바게 수닝 점어다 타닝 점어다 디게 될다 가야 되로다. 가야 되로게. 다 거바세나?
나.
거바 증거니 거바.
거바세죠.
아 라카다 가나 거도 거바.
알레 거바세 sempre 간중을 제가 심 초야 될 거바세부터.
아 네.
거바.
알레.
学生讲这什么当的，让天没的现在那个都在政府也都，没这个这样叫么？
알레.
这个是。
다 거바디 겐 저자 왕다 콩도다 가래 왕가 용 초고 로.
다 그거是这个有这样子了。
Right. Well, I mean, because we try to do the literal translation so that, we have to go back to Geshe is the right word, right? Where I said literally, sometimes we should not translate literally because people said, there's no meaning, right? So, deba la dimba. Deba is sensuality. Dimba means aspiration. So, I translated literally as aspiration for sensuality. But then Geshe explained it's like attachment to the sensual objects, right? Attractive form, right? Great taste, and all of that, right? That's what we call aspiration, right? You like it, you just attracted to it. The Tibetan word gerba, which has been translated to the extent I know, is agitation or excitement more these days, right? But it is more like the way Geshe explained is it's a distraction. The mind gets distracted by any factor, right? It could be due to desire, it could be anger, right? You are thinking about something, then the mind goes off by something else. That's called gerba in Tibetan. So the latest translation, the excitement, right? I don't know whether it gives you that sense or not, or it's agitation, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, sure.
This is not my question, but I've seen it translated as restlessness.
Oh, restlessness.
Restlessness.
I
yeah.
see.
So that includes everything.
Restless. Ale di kashigi. Kwebasigen da injinal ngol tagda digo roage. Da yon sabada excitement da koran restless the same can chawa sudu chejil. Kwebasigo same ko chawa sudu chene. Same chawa sudu chejil roage. Oh, dear. Kweba. De kweba tonda chidilигina. Same chawa sudu chejil marwage. Same jugu madebe jugu kot Tizu line job. Yeah, Geshe feels that maybe restlessness is quite in proximity with the Goba. Yeah, that's right.
So Geshe explained the two different modes of, or rather objects of observation for developing of calm abiding. The common and uncommon.
Yes, yes.
And the uncommon are all the Mahayana.
Right.
And he gave an example of Kamal Shila's meditation on emptiness.
Yeah.
But what is the uncommon method of for developing of calm abiding in this
Okay.
particular
Sure.
text? Because
Yeah.
it's never mentioned explicitly.
Okay.
Uh, So that's my question.
Yeah. Quran that this again shine di lam tumo be ane tumo lam thone again shine chongda chi or la brwage tumo main badi ane dan jese shiwala gi de sung de dan ane lobe kamal shila gi kumrim na sung de la brwage jaza tumo se din ko dan da yabu ko mas so brwage tumo gi shine komdan de khande chre sa tumo main badi la brwage taksen nyam je kon tumo gi ya shine komdan de mandar skharyo so da tumo main be shine komdan mandar
mikpali nyusung kai miao she mikpa khaya runga che me chini jwa di sinani ga tumo ro
de semne ko de tumo mai na
la
semne ko ja tumo ma de ro ge
simni go de tumo wa nipsi ro
cha de ro ge de ne dan da di ge ding ya ya le lo da dam ga che ba sa de ge de tumo ma cha de ro ge
cha cha
la da
ta ga da tumo ji mi de lo do shi na de sa de shi de mi de ye ba me ko so yo go de de go mi se mi ge de tumo si ro
la de
ta de go ren sha de to yi mi la dong shi do
la
ta ya de kar sa de kundu ra to mo cha sa de he de tumo ro ri mi ba kar sin ji wa
ala da ke nye ba je da nye ba de je de tumo ro ge
tumo
yeah just try to get sure. So, I mean, what we usually talk about, right, Geshe didn't say it, in the context of Lamrim, all those things, that's common one, okay? We talk about getting rid of the 5 faults, right, laziness and all of that, and then the adopting the 8, what called antidotes, right, and the 9 stages of mental development is all same, and I think Buddhistic about that. And so common usually explained in terms of, right, you can take any focus, right, it doesn't matter, right? But the uncommon one is the way it only differs is we said it's integrated with, for example, equalizing, exchanging self with others, right? And then like focusing on the development bodhicitta, or in the case of Kamal Shila, in the stage of meditation, there's this more like based on the emptiness. So emptiness usually generates special insight, right? So somehow the calm abiding development is attached to the insight.
Yeah, well, that's my question. I can understand how the emptiness could be a focus of meditation for the purpose of developing calm abiding. But what about here, in this particular context? What exactly is the object? What does that have to do with the exchange of self and others? What does it have to do with what is the object? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, yeah.
Is it that as a result of how, because these contemplations cannot really result in calm abiding? Obviously not, because this is a discursive meditation. We have to focus on specific object.
So what is the thought?
Is it a result of these contemplations? We arrive on an object, we find the object, and then we focus on that object. But what is that object?
Sure.
It's not stated.
Right. Kora kandi shue zoro de din sabana thanda de jese shiwala ge din sena ta tumo mai ba ro ge jidu kan la ta mikten go ma da kare sanga ta dam do shine ma do go mikten je che go ro wa se go ro ge ta tanda dak sen nyam che da nyam ba da che ba de ge de da mikten cha ge de ko de kra sab lu ba ka ta de go ro ge ne de shine go re ma ro ge ta mikten je che go di kap de mikten de kare sa tumo mai ba la ro ge tumo mai mikten de kare sa da
ma gumda de 정주심다 지금씩 고민해야 되는 건 난관으로 요마로.
No.
되겠어. 고민야 고민자들 정주심 공부로.
It mother that the cup daily again she name the chanjusum chador.
다다 정주시야 들 정주심도 정주심도 해오로.
chanjusum the migden chador.
어제 정주심 미리.
알아 담보게 다신 냠제다 디 다신 냠제 권의 chanjusum 게
마다 에네 다게 저 주가가 내가 가르치거든. 다신 냠제디 그 바고로.
디 체네 chanjusum 게 시게 엔 chanjusum 디 migden chagor.
그 mikpashiyadir 제바도 먼저 사골 미야도 드레마미세 정주심을 맨 희고로
다신 냠제 권을 민.
다시냠제 고 다시냠제 가듯이 유대시에는 정주심 제고 유대 맞게는 좀 제배 배용 두자선 정주심 권을 미딩도 샤니 제바시야들 정말 많이 봤어요.
얘네 디 신의 누구마로게 디 제바 제대로 하네.
제바시고들 지다 제바시의 지고들 지나 그
디님도 조금 자기 시작.
이제 조그러 다 지금 다다데 대시고 다 신의 검지 공부하되 신의 학동도 인가 줘야 핑거로 와.
다 change 빼마진 금 되고 디스거래.
진짜 빼면 소리 다 표시 드려야 다 진짜 빼면 나다. 다다데 신의 학동 기라 숨지 소리 줘와 지지. 자 진짜 빼면 소리 줘와.
팀모 마이메 제저 빼면서 좀 되고. 담보지게 가서 다신 냠 고백 좀zen 사마자는 고가들이 양 조금 직체로게 양 도시 고 뱀 디스거다. 팀모
다 미대는 정수섬 샤샤자 이게 투모 많이 왔습니다. 다 정수섬 제고 주제들 정수섬 거는 상호단의 장난이고 연계 급의 주제 상호단의 가르치면서 사 정수섬 제거로.
Just to make sure we get clarity of what is Geshe. So Geshe says, I mean, in particular this case, is the bodhicitta itself is the focus, and it could be that, or like in the case of, like say, if you're working on equalizing self with others, right? So here the sense is that we are like thinking about why this is important, why we must do these things. But then I told Geshe that doesn't look like a karma abiding. That's like analyzing a lot, right? He said, yes, that's true. But once you do that at the end, right, you also do a little bit of placement meditation, right? And that's integrating, we are alternating between the analytical and the single-pointed meditation. So that seems like the uncommon method. That's what Geshe was saying. Yeah.
But still, the object of this placement meditation is not clear. It's not stated.
Right.
That's number one. And number two is it's explained that this method for equalizing and exchanging ourselves for others is a method for developing bodhicitta, but Shantideva doesn't say that. There's no mention of bodhicitta. No mention of bodhicitta in this in chapter 8. There was nothing. He just ends with that. We exchange and equalize ourselves for others, or rather, equalize and exchange, and that's it. He doesn't say as a result of that, there further steps need to be taken in order to develop bodhicitta. That's not the end of it, but he doesn't talk about that.
Okay, I'll go back to that.
That number one. And number two is, after all, bodhicitta needs to have been developed in the first chapter already, and it's developed on the basis of contemplating the benefits of enlightenment, because everything else subsequently predicated on the assumption that you have developed bodhicitta, not in chapter 8.
Korang this gordanda di liu jeba de nang la roage kora 16 rabu do de ge imbe ina ane Geshe shiwala ge ta ji dakshen nyemje gon de changju sim ge da de she ma de roage dakshen nyemje chen ane changju sim ge ge de changju sim ngos kora roage jing ma sung min do sa roage kora ta dan chen roage ta je de changju sim ko liu xiang ba de she roage liu tang ko le ya changju sim pen yu she de roage ine dan de liu jeba ra migden 가르제 신의 migden 가르서는 자주 쌤 세계는 것을 러그면 되었어하게 다 다신 냠제 공부를 계획적으로 공부를 해야 되로하게 니네 이번에게 리우께 먹고
다신 냠제스다 정수서 공부하다 유래명아 된 거 공부하다 다신 냠제 공부
슈크된이라지 마도 뭐 쉐요 말보다 슈크된을 거대는 마도 뭐 쉐미 됐을거다게 전주쌤 답은 다신 냠제 제번데 전주쌤 끼기다 리부 전주쌤 톱거다 뭐 쉐기면 됐을거라서는 디 이렇게 봐라
아니 드시고라 저자 저주심 공과 유진 시거라 나해냐 봐 내가도 그 그런지도 사 먼저 시갈 가려서 소설집에 해야 더야지라 Sata ti nyam bodala ina dangya thamo nyam ba gum. Nyam sa de ja go ina bang si ja de kanga changsu sim koran kol phago ro ti.
但修了点点嘛，我是把那块大家来的
Ta
说，
mo sa changsu gu ro gung go ta rang ji di chong ta he ji de yo de ta di kanga changsu sim gung go ro changsu sim gung si de da yi changsu sim koran yu de che de big day si de gung go ma ro.
I don't know. Okay, that's myself. Now, what Geshe says is that, I mean, in the chapter 8, you know, the way he lays out is that why we must equalize, extend self for others is really to develop the bodhicitta, you know. And so when we say, I'm cultivating bodhicitta, it doesn't have to be, we only think about the bodhicitta itself, right? Because when we say, so far, we have only cherished ourselves, we ignore everybody else, now we should learn to cherish others. So that is a part of, right, focus on bodhicitta.
How do we cherish others who appear to be doing terrible things like trafficking humans and animals or leading very oppressive governments that cause their people to suffer?
Okay, so I missed the last. How do we cherish the troublemakers? You mean? No. Okay,
Yeah,
right. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Quran this ko dang ngam da le shin che ba jing bo la ba ge. Siddhi kan liya da so so liya dene mi maru ma che teng yo ro ge. Dige de en kan che ba che wo re sa ge de le la bu jin yo ma ro sa ro ge. Da la mari ma che teng che ro ge.
So so mega ke si go re.
So so la da che maru ma che teng de yo ro ge. So so ne ye de ya ma la nge de yo ro ge. O di kan de so so le di che ba kan de jing wo re sa ge.
Ore dingo ne da tho ti mo so ba yo da ro.
No, slow down.
Tere da da so so mega ke de da da ne ka je mega shi mo ta ba re ki ko ja mo mo no su su cho go shi ni go re chi pa da da ga wo shi ge da 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 wa shi ge ni sa lo mo ni sa da na ko ni che yo ma ba.
No.
참 di pen do da ne ji go ni ga chi po chi ga me da chi ya ga shi chi do go shi go yu de sha go ma ba.
No.
Ro ti.
Yeah, Geshe said that's a really very good question there, right? But then the way we deal with that issue is, I mean, even the troublemakers, they are not like permanently fixed troublemakers. You know, we put it in a very context, big, right, across many lifetimes, isn't it? So, I mean, there was a time this troublemaker was not a troublemaker. As a matter of fact, our dearest friend, you know. And so our relationships are in flux. They change. Nothing is fixed. So this is how we think. That's why it's possible, right? Yes, at the moment, this person is giving me a lot of headaches, right? But before, when he was not the troublemaker, right, he might have done a lot of good things, you know. So as we talked about this before, somebody who is helping you now, somebody who already helped you before, in terms of kindness, they're the same, right? The time doesn't matter. Somebody did that last year, somebody's doing it right now. So like that, we think about, right, how when they're in a different relationship to us, right? So then this is how we cherish, right? Cultivate slowly.
다다 소소 파마다 지비가 거워시야 그래서 콘수 소소 약고시야다 제가 뒤차는 거워시고 와. 내가 나기 다다 소소 메가 게데 저와 탐지들 메가 드라마를 전도 소소 파파와 지금 양 편시라 따여라. 세 따여자다. 제가 거기 집어 살아면 다도 고모 숨자제. 다니 고모 숨자제 그시 다도 다시 다니 다시 다도 고모 숨자제 그래서 되니 그래. 제발 열어요. 열어요. 어? 진짜 봐라.
So Geshe says, you know, I mean, people who benefit us, then we have a different favorable attitude towards them, right? Anybody who is harming us or is causing trouble, then we have an unfavorable attitude, you know. And so the example Geshe has given is that we have to think in terms of how this same person in a different context, in a different situation, in different lifetimes has not been the same person, right? A troublemaker. So that's how we slowly work with our mind. And again, Geshe sort of gives this example of, let's say, you know, what is it? So last year, there was a person who was giving a lot of headaches, you know. For some reason this year, the person changed and became a good friend. So gives you $300, isn't it? And then there was one person, last year was very nice to you, give you 300. But this year, so pissed off with you and, you know, wants to. So in terms of, let's say, kindness and everything is same, isn't it? right? I mean, one became friend now and one become enemy now, but they both gave you $300, right? It's a difference of time, but we wouldn't make any difference there, would we, right? So this is how we slowly work on it. So we'll stop there today. I have some prayer requests. Where is it? Here, time to share you again. Send it. I have prayer requests for people who are deceased, and the kesa shoga tongsha ken mingli ya yong yun sa roage kesa tongsha da dine shambaji chinda chungi tari sumchula tongsha Blanca Isabel Naren Ho is again. So I have two prayer requests. One is Blanca Isabel Naren Ho. I hope it's a Ho, it's not Joe, right? Passed away on December 30th. And Yong Yun, who passed away yesterday morning. And then we can think of others we know of. So let's do Avalokiteshvara prayer. Chadong Golun Juven, Yewo Don, Jendong, Kewa Sangbe, Sangye Dong, Gala Kandu, Dela De, Jumba Jenre Zela, Chanze, Omani Peme, Omani. Omane Beme Hori, Gawandi, Nyodo da Cheres one, Gawa Chijam Malewan, the Sala Gubara show. Page booklet, page 3. Lord Jazu, Udon Beva, Gazan Pove, Judo, Mimba Sen, Temba Zela, Wando Jit, Tanyan Chogun Jola, so one day, page 5. Mawa Andame, Gwinjan Donga, Kari Johnson, Ninda, Senza, Jamgun Jawa, Niwa Yapse, Danson Tinzi, Mawe, Shiba, Tenzin Jeve, Jingo Jeve, Shiji, Nugun Shangju, Tendu, Longda Tamje, Bebe, Bayun, Dija Yazu, Gundo, Shabdi, Tesan Kwanda, Chezu, Zombe, Yongzo, Yure, Tobe, Nyang. Longri de yen nu beden ba tobden kanri dabo shabden dona komen zaba namda gun dendan do pende juwe lundo jume chebe chinle je kesan duje dendo shabden chije lame tuje melam da kesan duje dendam zangme choson to do jido jida membe ndungu lundo sho page 9. Ramjan Shingen, Gombo, Seba, Men, Zodo, Namje, Geyun, Drama, Sozo, Seye, Lazo, Tamji, Taden, Mishi, Chogi, Modo, Tubden, Jeda, Losan, Yawayi, Shiro, Temban, Zembe, Beyu, Tade, Deja, Yongwe, Yangdu, Ninje, Ombo, Shabden, Sho, Jiden, Sumgun, Chana, Bemedu, Temben, Zawa, Soso, Taw, Namda, Sudi, Yangda. Losan Genden, Bedo, Shabden Sho, Tujon, Yaje, Ronze, Yangbe, Samjo, Namje, Sanzin, Jumbe, Bomjon, Shela, Sonjo, Debe, Tembe, Mata, Chimbo, Shabden, Chebe, Donga, Gowa, Bojo, Zembe, Rila, Vese, Zembe, Denden, Leshe, Dangza, Jo, Kido, Shinyin, Chimbo, Shabden, Kebe, Langdo, Kushe, Zeda, Tara, Sangbe Deje, Regon, Yishe, No, Sumde, Shinyin, Chembo, Shabde, Tesan, Roland, Jebe, Tendeje, Menjon, Taje, Zangme, Seje,
老先这个进入
白小娃真的新年全部小点说，说上叫我世界进了的，头天他们送面前，大家拉上大白点白，接到门边等个轮着说，抢着心着人不是马街把那结巴娘巴没巴样，国内工作陪我说，当年大娃人不是马街把那结巴娘巴没巴样，国内工陪我说，啥事北京就是面到长，日了零些年的烟巴，上街行动民。如果能到行了，就把说刚才那边过了边新干做平淡的话马路中边，现在是往定金叫做下边10点8度定就去一档古肉热闹满点，你养大呀面叫我滚到养大浪漫当对面去见白了龙居。萨达南界云南拉佐宁多杰长给国邦牛多说。